Hello everyone, welcome to Pokédex. So the complete spoiler of Phantom Forces was leaked right here on PokeBeach. This site is awesome. If you guys don't know it, it has all the relevant news on the Pokemon universe. You should check it out from time to time. So since everybody has been doing the spoiler rundown, I thought I should do it myself as well. So hope you guys enjoy this. This is one of those videos where I'm also writing the article, and you should check it out as well because I can articulate my ideas better in the article. It's easier when I'm writing. Actually, I have written the article already, and I'm going to use it as a guide to what I'm saying. So I'll be following what I said there. Not sure if I'm going to add anything relevant, but I know some people just like to listen to the video while you do something instead of having to read uh, an article. So I don't know. I have both, so just so that you guys can check it out. So in the article, I have things divided by groups. So I think I'll go with that as well here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Night March Pokemon. This is a deck I'm really excited to build. I'm not sure it's going to be the best thing ever, but it sure has the potential to be strong. So there's three guys. There's Joltik, there's Lampent, and there's Pumpkaboo. So all of these guys have the Night March ability, which means they deal 20 damage times the number of Night March Pokemon in our discard pile. So Lampent seems like the worst one straight away because it's a stage 1, and the Night March attack requires psychic energy, and the other guys just need a colorless. So this guy seems like the worst. Maybe I'll just run it without the basic Pokemon, which is Litwick, just so that we can discard it and add more damage. But we aren't going to bother attacking with it. Maybe Pumpkaboo is like the most powerful. Just because you can, sorry, I'll just drop the guys down, just because you can evolve it into Gourgeist. If you have Celebi EX in play, you will be able to use Pumpkaboo's attack while still being in Gourgeist form, and if you drop a grass energy on this guy, its maximum HP is 200, so suddenly it's like a really strong Pokemon. 200 is absurd. So there's your deck right there. I have just another thing to say about Gourgeist, which is, remember, this energy can be a rainbow energy because it doesn't matter if it's basic or not. So that's cool. You might be interested in running other types of Pokemon in the deck, and the rainbow energy allows you to get to 200 HP anyway. So Joltik is still pretty decent. I mean, it's lightning type, so it hits Yveltals and Lugias. The low HP sucks, but it also means this guy is going to die quicker, and it will pump all the other Night March attackers, so there's that. If the deck is going to run Celebi EX like we talked, Galvantula is actually decent. You have to run the lightning energy, but Electroweb is a decent attack if you don't have enough Night Marches to one-hit KO. You Electroweb, the guy can't retreat next turn. If he doesn't have the switch, you then just Night March and kill it, hopefully with the help of the 60 damage from the previous turn. So it seems decent. Not the best thing ever, but I mean, I can see the deck going to work with Eevees, because Flareon already works with Pokemon on the discard pile, and if you're going to run the Grass Energy for Gourgeist, you can also use it to evolve Eevee into Leafeon, which also is super cool against Seismitoad, which is bound to be very powerful and popular. So there's the deck ideas for you guys. As soon as the edition comes out, the set comes out, I am going to try to build this deck. It's the deck I'm most excited to. So next thing I have here is the Pyroar. I just have to say that I don't really like this guy. I mean, the Flare Command seems okay, of course you compare it to Red Signal, but I don't think it's really comparable because okay, the energy you drop on Pyro, you don't use them straight away. I mean, you don't use the ability straight away. Just drop the energy, and there you flare command, which is okay. I mean, you can even start putting energy on Litleo, and then you evolve into Pyro, and then you use the energy. So you can see if you want that Litleo to attack to be an attacking Pyro, or if you want it to be the flare command Pyro. But there's the other problem right there. I mean, which deck are you going to play this guy in? Another Pyro deck? And I think in those decks you just want the straight up the other Pyro. I mean, the one that can't be attacked by basic Pokemon and deals a lot of damage for 3 energy. So I can see this guy being played a lot. Maybe some weird situation comes up where it is useful, but I'm not a fan. There's also Hydreigon somewhere. Yeah, it's here. Dark Impulse is a support ability, which is actually bonkers. It looks like the Electric and Bronzong ability. We'll get to that in a minute, but it's actually different because it attaches to the active Pokemon, and that has a potential to be crazy good. The the fact that it's at stage 2, not so much, because I don't want to play this guy in my Yveltal deck and play the rare candies and all that, so I don't know. I'm not totally convinced the guy is good. Now it's time to talk about um, the Bronzong and Friends deck, which is like a deck that the Pokemon guys built for us already, so we don't need to build a deck ourselves. Of course, Bronzong reminds us of Electric. Uh, the thing is, this guy works for Steel Energy, not for Lightning. Um, I mean, Electric had Rayquaza as an attacker, and we don't have that. We don't have that like that awesome attacker that one-hit KOs here with Bronzong. So I'm not sure it's going to be the same level as Electric was. Plus, we don't have the level balls. We have to go to Pokemon fan clubs. I don't know. I think the deck has some challenges that Electric didn't have back then. The only EX Pokemon that's good so far, I'm not talking about the Phantom Forces one, I'll get to them in a minute, is Cobalion EX, and Cobalion EX is not the kind of guy you want to Metal Links into because his first attack is only 1 energy, and the second attack maxes out at 100, so I'm not sure. Let's look at the other Steel guys in this set. So there's Dialga EX. If only this guy's attack didn't cost like the Steel Energy, this would be awesome. Seriously, I've seen a lot of people saying that the text on this attack is irrelevant. If the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, it can't attack during the opponent's next turn. I actually don't agree with it. I mean, I think this is really relevant in one specific situation, which is Seismitoad. So yeah, they can switch Pokemons and all that, but against Seismitoad, this is a really good attack with a chance that it might just screw up their plan, and you can play your items that turn. So I think Chrono Wind has some potential. I only wish it didn't cost a Steel Energy just because you could use it in any deck as a Seismitoad counter, and as is, not so much. The second attack, well, the second attack wouldn't be that good because you have to discard 2 energy. If it wasn't for Bronzong, it seems like it's a match made in heaven, right? Bronzong gets the energy back from the discard pile into Dialga's, and the Dialga attacks for 150. This will 1-hit KO most of the times just because you can drop the Muscle Band on it. So there's that. Give me a second, I have to drink some water. I mean, I was complaining that Dialga EX required Steel Energy instead of just 2 colorless, but there's also the fact that because of Bronzong, because there's such a strong support Pokemon, the Steel Pokemon from here on out won't be as good. Uh, just because it would imagine if you had like an Yveltal type guy that attacked with Steel Energy, that would be stupid good. So it's kind of the same with Aromatisse. Like all the fairy Pokemon seem to be not as good as the competition. Like Xerneas CX doesn't seem to be on par with all the other guys, but it still seems play just because you can play it in Aromatisse decks and it works with Fairy Energy. So the fact that there's a support Pokemon that's so strong makes using Pokemon that are a little bit under the power level okay. So Dialga EX totally up there. I think. There's also Aegislash EX. I have mixed feelings about this Pokemon. Um, I think it's all about the ability, right? Mighty Shield. It prevents damage done to this Pokemon by attacks of Pokemon with special energy on them. So I think the attack is what will make this guy like a good card or not. Because Slash Blast is an okay attack. I mean, it's good because it's scalable, meaning if you have if you have your Bronzongs going and you might charge up an Aegislash to go to stupid levels of energy and deal one hit KOs. Most of the time though it will just be hitting for 100 with 3 energy. So it's the Mighty Shield that does it for this guy, and I don't know if it will be that good because there's Enhanced Dammer in the format again, and it seemed like everything the format was really about double colorless energy, but it might not be as much from now on. So we have to see how everything goes. So this guy totally has potential, even if he is not that good. I mean, he still has space for it in the Bronzong deck, I think. So there's that. Another thing about Bronzong that I have to mention, you can just play the guy with the Yveltal and Mewtwo EX anyway, so you don't need to lock yourself into Steel Pokemon, especially because they are all weak to fire. So okay, we have another EX now, which is Malamar. This guy has a super cool ability. I mean, when you attach an energy from your hand, the opponent goes to sleep straight away, no flips needed. I mean, other than the natural flip when you pass the turn for sleep. So it's like a 50% chance the opponent won't do anything the turn after you play an energy on this guy. That's awesome. Honestly, that's really cool. That actually makes me believe in this guy, but not really when you start to look at his attack, because I mean, if you consider that the attack does 60 damage on a coin flip for each energy on it, that's like 30 damage of expected damage output for each energy on it, right? And if you compare this guy to, I don't know, Yveltal EX, which is the go-to darkness Pokemon, you'll see that Yveltal already does the 20 damage by itself, so at 2 energy they deal the same expected amount of damage, but Yveltal requires no flips. And even if you drop more energy on this guy, it only counts its own energies, and Yveltal counts the opponent's as well, so I don't know. It's really hard for me to imagine someone playing this guy instead of Yveltal, because in the same decks that Yveltal is being played. So unless there's something cool going on with Malamar EX, I think people will just play Yveltal and go with that. Oh yeah, and it has weakness to fighting, which doesn't help its cause. So there's like a quick mention of Hunchcrow, because this guy has a Nightmare Mambo, which deals 120 if the opponent for 3 energy if the opponent Pokemon is asleep. So there's a cool fun deck there. Like you drop energies on Malamar, the guy goes to sleep, you attack with Nightmare Mambo, and it doesn't matter if he wakes up because you already dealt the 120 damage, and you can do it again next turn. So that's some cool synergy going on there. Alright, now we get to my favorite EX Pokemon on the set. I'm not saying this guy is the best, because he's definitely not. But I really like Florges EX. Part of it is my because I just like the Fairy Aromatisse decks, and I actually think this guy will help the deck. So let's look into it. So as I said before, with Bronzong, the Fairy Pokemon will always be a little worse than their counterparts of other types, I think, because then it would just break the game, because Aromatisse is so strong as a support Pokemon that the guys that work with him, with it, her, whatever, have to be a little weaker. So I actually think this guy is pretty decent because, for many reasons, and let's look into them. So there's the Tech Bright Garden, which deals 20 damage for each fairy and or grass Pokemon that we have in play. So it has the potential to go to 120 for 2 energy, which is okay. Most of the times though, if you're playing like the Aromatisse deck, there's going to be some other type Pokemons in our bench, which I think is fine, because if this guy is dealing 80 damage, so 80 damage on one turn, and then the next turn you heal it with Max Potion, which is basically what Aromatisse decks do anyway, and then you drop the Muscle Band on it, and you deal 100 damage. There's a key, two hit KO that right there. So I think this guy actually does everything that a strong Pokemon like Yveltal already does on the Fairy deck. Of course, Yveltal has the potential to one-hit KO, but that doesn't really happen many times. I don't know if you guys have tried the Fairy deck a lot, but from my experience, it doesn't happen like a lot of times. So I think this guy is just cool, and I also think that I was scared that the Enhanced Hammer would totally break the Aromatisse decks, and the fact that we can now play like on color, if you will, Pokemon, so Pokemon that are Fairy and run Fairy energy alone, might make us depend less on the Rainbow energy, and that's super nice. Plus, if the guys, I mean, we can just play we can play this guy instead of our natural attackers in the Aromatisse deck that we play these days, and I think it will work just fine. If the opponent kills our Florges, they will only take 2 energy away, and that's a lot of damage on Bright Garden. So I like this guy. There's also Lead, the attack. It's not the best thing in the world. I'm not saying that, but I think it's good, because if the deck, I don't know if you looked into Puka's list from the regional that he played with the Aromatisse deck. He played for a Pokemon Center, Pokemon Fan Club, sorry, because you don't have the level 1 anymore, and it actually avoids the Seismitoad attack because it's a supporter, and that's super awesome. So if you're playing for Pokemon Fan Club, you can then play an energy on Florges, attack, get the card drawing supporter, so it might actually be helpful sometimes. So if you don't have anything else, I'm not saying you're going to be doing that a lot in the middle of the game, but I don't know, if the opponent is at 4 prizes and is threatening to kill your Florges, you might just grab that N and dare him to attack you if you have like a bench that's getting ready to destroy him. So there's also that. There's like the chess play, if you will. So I'm really excited for Florges. I think he has a lot of potential, contrary to what some people say. Now let's go into Gengar EX. So this guy is definitely one of the most powerful EXs in the set, although it will be in a very special deck, I think. The deck has to support it a little bit because it's a hit and run Pokemon, like Donphan, for example. There are some differences between them, obviously. I mean, this is an EX Pokemon. Uh, Donphan is not, but Donphan hits like an EX Pokemon. And this guy is an EX Pokemon that doesn't hit for that much damage alone. I mean, you can use the stadium, the Burbank City Gym, and already this number changes into 90 instead of 60. So there's that. Um, but at the same time, Donphan makes the opponent have to take 6 prizes, and Gengar not so much. You can just it can just kill some of your Gengars, and there's 2 prizes for each. So there's that to account for. One funny thing about Gengar is the Pokemon that, from the top of our heads, we can think about pairing him with are, I don't know, Trevenant, Sigilyph, and those guys, because we're running Psychic Energy, they can actually attack. I don't know if you actually know that Trevenant has an attack, because people just use him for his ability, but his attack is actually pretty decent. I think it's 60 to the active and 30 to 2 Pokemon on the bench, and that's awesome. So maybe you attack with Gengar, and then you switch into Trevenant, and you attack with Trevenants, and you're not giving him your EX Pokemon, you know, you're just giving him a very strong normal Pokemon that's dealing a lot of damage, and the opponent is already poisoned from Gengar, so there's a lot there. I think the deck might work like that. This guy doesn't need to evolve to attack, contrary to Donphan, so yeah, I mean, Donphan has the finishing move that takes the stadium away, but all in all, I think the decks will be different. While still being hit and run decks, I don't think you want to run the dragons that Donphan is running in the Gengar deck. I'm not sure, I think we'll have to wait and see. I am thrilled to play with the cards myself and see what I found out. There's some other support stuff that we can talk about regarding Gengar. I mean, there's the stadium, Dimension Valley, and we'll get to the stadium in a minute. The stadium, the thing with the stadium is it's like energy acceleration, because it gets 1 energy off our attack, but at the same time I feel like we want Burbank City Gym in this deck. Maybe we run 2, maybe we don't, because Gengar will need the double colorless energy anyway, so there's that. There's a tension going on, but I don't think the Dimension Valley is going to be the best stadium for this deck. There's also the Psychic Energy, which cuts the retreat cost off of Psychic type Pokemon, and that's also good. I'm maybe not on Gengar himself, but on the support Pokemon, just so that we can retreat into Gengar, just using the energy that we also use to attack. So that's something to keep in mind. That's also cool. We can also talk about Mega Gengar EX. I mean, I'm not convinced about this Mega evolution, because the attack seems to be pretty situational. I'm not sure this is what you want from a Mega Pokemon. I mean, you lose a turn to attack, or if you don't lose a turn, it's because you use the Spirit Link, so you lost the tool attachment to your EX Pokemon. So I don't know. I'm not convinced. And plus, this seems like something totally different than what you are doing generally in the Gengar deck, which is hitting and running. So, and okay, I granted, maybe it's because it's situational and different that it's interesting and that you want to run it for those situations that the normal Gengar can deal with. Maybe you drop the Mega Gengar EX and suddenly you have an out. I don't know. I can't be sure, but I don't think this guy is going to be that good. I just honestly don't. So, one last thing, this guy is weak to Dark. That's not good, but what weakness is good these days, right? There's always going to be something that hits you, so I'm not going to bother thinking about the weakness that much. Now, there's another EX Pokemon we want to talk about, and it's actually the strongest of the bunch. it's Manectric EX. It's like probably the strongest Pokemon on this set. I mean, in a vacuum he is definitely, but we have a meta game to think about, so the meta might change stuff for it, but I don't know. The fact that Assault, I mean, let's start with Overrun. So it's 20 and 20 to the bench for 1 energy. It's 1 colorless energy, mind you. Might come in handy. I don't see it that much, but might be uh, an interesting thing to talk about. There's also Assault Laser, which for 2 energy is going to be dealing 120 damage every time. I don't even want to think about dealing just 60 with this guy. I mean, with all the Pokemon tools running around these days, and the fact that this very set, has Team Flare tools that you can play on the opponent's Pokemon, I can't imagine Manectric EX attacking for just 60. I mean, and if you think about it, so it's 20 on the first turn, then it's the 120, so it's 140 damage, plus a Muscle Band, plus a Laser, or just a Laser and a Verbank, and there's your 1-hit KO. There's, okay, not 1-hit KO, but there's your KO right there. So the math works really well on Manectric EX, and they work well with each other. I mean, one Manectric after the other, just because they attack with so few energy, and it's easy to charge them up. I think this guy is awesome, seriously. I think, I mean, there's also a Mega Manectric EX. There's the Spirit Link for both of these guys, but there's also something quite similar to what was happening with Gengar's Mega, which is sometimes you don't want to evolve into the Mega Manectric EX because, I mean, Turbo Bolt is an awesome attack. It deals just 10 less damage than Assault Laser. I mean, the opponent doesn't need the tool on it, but once again, I can't see that happening, like the opponent having no tool on it. And it charges up to 2 energies to our bench, but I'm not sure that we need that in the Manectric deck, because this guy attacks with so few energies. So, I don't know, it feels like I just want to drop the Muscle Band on Manectric, and I don't care about the Spirit Link anyway, so I just feel like I just want to play Manectrics and no Manectric EX. Maybe one sometimes, or maybe you just play it to ignore the Pyroar and be able to kill it, because Turbo Bolt 1-hit KOs Pyroar, so maybe that's why this guy is here. And if that's the case, I don't see us playing the Spirit Link in the deck. We just lose a turn evolving and that's it. So still a long way of being KO'd by Pyroar with its 210 HP, so there's that. A little bit better than Mega Gengar, but still not the perfect Mega Evolution. I'm going to talk about some trainer cards in no particular order. So there's Battle Compressor, which is like my favorite card in the set, honestly. I mean, it just makes my inner Magic the Gathering player tingle, because this is so cool. I mean, you just want to build around it and build combos and interesting stuff that you can do with this thing. Maybe get the Night March Pokemon out to make them deal more damage. Maybe you just want to get some executes out and do crazy stuff. I don't know. I'm definitely going to try to build around this card. Really seems really cool. There's Steel Shelter. At first I thought this thing wasn't that good, because I like to play my stadiums and make them affect my attack, you know? Because in the opponent's turn, like stadiums that affect you on the opponent's turn, like the Mountain Ring for example, the opponent can just play his own stadium and then suddenly you did nothing, right? So you want things that affect your turn, the turn you play them. That's the best thing. So Steel Shelter, it prevents special conditions. The good thing about this thing is, if you play it down on your turn, it heals your Pokemon, sorry. So if the opponent plays the Laser, you get poisoned, and then you play this and you heal your Pokemon, and that's cool, but you already took the damage, so, and I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like bonkers, but it's okay. It's an okay card. Maybe I will play it in the steel deck, um, or maybe not. Maybe we just want stadiums that deal damage. So we'll see. The other stadium was Dimension Valley. Here it is. So I really like this thing. It's like an energy acceleration card. So it's like a Colress machine, if you will. The opponent might play his own stadium and nullify this one, but at the same time you already took advantage of it, hopefully, because you already attacked after you play the stadium, so there's that. It's like an energy accelerant for one turn at least, and that I think makes it super good. I'm not crazy about using it with Mewtwo EX though, just because, I don't know, Mewtwo already wants to have many energy on it anyways, and you can attack with Mewtwo with just one energy, but doesn't seem like the something that's going to be awesome every time. So there's this supporter here called AZ. Doesn't seem to be the best thing ever because you discard all the cards attached to the Pokemon you scoop up. But he is a scoop up in supporter form, and we don't have that in the format. We have a scoop up in trainer form, in the item form that we flip a coin for, and it's not the best card ever. I've seen it play, and I've played it in Dragonite EX decks. When it hits, it's awesome, but sometimes it doesn't. So there's that. I don't see AZ being played in the Dragonite deck because it loses the energies, but it is a way of dealing with the items, for example, the Team Flare tools, for example. So because they get discarded off of your Pokemon, and you are healing the Pokemon that you're scooping up. So there's that, and you are switching as well. So for all intents and purposes, it is a scoop up in a deck for decks that don't care about discarding energies. So might see some play there. There's Lysander trump card. I've also heard some really bad comments about this card, mostly because it also works for the opponent's benefit, and the opponent is going to make use of the supporter after you play this card first, because you play it, it's your supporter for the turn, then the opponent has access to all his deck, to the full deck, and he can play the supporter before you have a chance to do so with a full deck. So there's that, but I do see some utility for this card. Like, I can see it as one-off in the Virizion Genesect deck to shuffle energy back, shuffle everything back really, but that deck really struggles with the resources, and this can help out. I mean, you can even start playing less energy in that deck because you have Lysander's trump card. I don't know. We'll see about that. I'm not even sure Virginia will be playable because of Team Flare 2, so that's something to look for. There's Trick Coin, which is a Pokemon tool. Once during your turn, after you flip any coins for an attack of the Pokemon this card is attached to, you may ignore all effects of those coin flips and begin flipping those coins again. So this is really cool with Malamar EX, although it only works for the attack, not for the sleep check. I wish it would work for the sleep check, that would be insane actually. But it's still okay. I mean, you have two chances to hit with Malamar, so definitely a card to check in the Malamar deck that we are definitely going to build, if not for competitive purposes, at least for fun. There's VS Seeker, which is insane, I think. Really cool card. I mean, in the early game it sucks because, I mean, the first thing I think about this card is, okay, so we can play less supporters. Well, not really, because you have to draw the supporters and you have to play them in order to have supporters in their discard pile to get with VS Seeker. So you have to, you can substitute, you can take supporters out of your deck and play the VS Seeker instead. But in the late game, this thing is awesome, just because it can be a Lysander or a Sycamore, and the versatility is awesome there. It also makes me want to play it in Yveltal decks in Expanded, just to get them with Sableye. So the versatility is key with this card. I think it's going to be a really cool card. Robo Substitute is here. There's the thing. I think this is a potentially powerful card. When the Japanese spoiler came out, it seemed like this thing auto switched into the active position. Like you have like an active Pokemon and you play this thing, and the Robo Substitute became the active. That kind of confused me, just because it seemed like a better switch. I mean, you could just play it as a switch, switch into your active position immediately, and then sacrifice it and switch into another Pokemon, promote another Pokemon. So that would work like a switch that you could also leave there to take the 30 damage. Doesn't seem to work that way. I mean, you play it on your bench, it seems, and then you have to switch into it, but it gives it a different use, which is Gengar, EX, and Donphan decks. So you can just switch with Donphan into this guy or with Gengar, and especially in the early game where you don't have the other Pokemon you want to set up into, so the opponent just knocks it out and doesn't take any prize. So there's an attack that they waste. So it seems like this guy is going to be pretty good in those decks, the hit and run decks. So there's, where is it? Enhanced Hammer is back. I already talked a little bit about this thing because it's inevitable that we talk about it. There's also a lot of tension between items, tools, and special energy going into this set because of when I get to the Pokemon, the Team Flare tools, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, NS Dammer is here, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest cards when we talk about format staples and things that impact the format. This is going to be on everyone's mind when we build decks, I think. There's also the Spirit Links. We have two. I already talked about the Mega Pokemon. I think most of the times both Gengar and Manectric want... I mean, with Manectric, I think you generally want to play the Muscle Band instead of the Spirit Link, and with Gengar, it's not a case of you wanting to play the Muscle Band, but instead it's just you generally won't want to evolve. I think that's more that's the problem with Gengar. So I'm not sure about the cards. When people talked about Spirit Links, I thought they were going to be like generic, like you could play this on any Pokemon, and maybe there was some Mega Pokemon from past sets that was going to get better because of it. Because right, we don't really have Mega Pokemon that are good, right? We have like Mega Kangaskhan that sees some play, like a one-off or sometimes two-off in fairy decks. Yeah, but Mega Pokemon aren't good. So I thought it was going to be an item that worked on any Pokemon and made any Pokemon better. It doesn't seem like it. Seemed like it's a tool-specific item. So, meh. Doesn't seem like the best thing ever. There's another supporter, new supporter, Xerosic. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. I'm calling him Xerosic, so... this guy, I think this guy is going to be cool. I mean, you can take a Pokemon tool, like... You can remove a tool from your opponent's guy, like a Muscle Band or a G-Booster. You can remove a Pokemon tool from one of your guys, like a Team Flare tool, for example. And you can remove a special energy attached to any Pokemon. Typically you will be doing it to your opponent's Pokemon. But it doesn't have to be the active. You can remove an energy from any of those obvious Pokemon. And it's a supporter, so it avoids, goes around Seismitoad attack. So I think this guy will see some play because of that. Once again, going to that tension between the items and the special energy, and Xerosic is going to be a big part of that. So now I let this go. I save this for the end. Let's open up both the Team Flare tools, which I think are the most impactful cards in the set. Let's start by looking at them individually, I think. So first of all, it's like a new mechanic that you can play the Pokemon tool on the opponent's Pokemon, only on the Pokemon EX, mind you. That's I think going to be relevant as well. So there's Jamming Net. It's like a reverse muscle band. The effect doesn't seem to be that good, but I can't wait to see this in the same deck as Hard Charm. I mean, cutting off 40 damage from the opponent's attack seems crazy. So there's that. But let's be honest, the real deal is Headringer. I mean, Headringer is going to be super powerful. It blocks the tools the opponent might want to play on his own Pokemon, just like Jamming Net does. It helps Manectric deal more damage, but also the fact that it makes the opponent's attack cost more is incredible. I think makes the opponent just want to play extra double colorless energies, right? But then again, not really, because there's Xerosic in the format. There's going to be an S-Dammer in the format, so there's going to be a lot of back and forth with the energies and the tools and Seismitoad, and I think there's going to be a lot of play around this stuff. I mean, you can play double colorless energy to avoid that ringer, but that just runs you into Inestammer and Xerosic. You can play a tool on your Pokemon before your opponent does, but then he can start Megaphone and then he can play his own Headringer. There's Seismitoad EX that doesn't let the opponent play his tools, but if you're going second in order to be the first to attack with Seismitoad, then the opponent has his first turn, and then he can play his Headringer, and then your Seismitoad attack costs 3 instead of 2. So there's a lot going on. If the opponent is playing his own Seismitoad, I mean, the one who hits first probably wins, so you still want to run the double colorless energy. There's also Tool Retriever, which is a card from the past set that also removes tools, so that might also get played. I don't know. There's also AZ, like we talked before. There's the Dimensional Valley that helps you go around the Headringer effect with Psychic Pokemon, so maybe with Psychic Pokemon you just don't even care about Headringer anyways. There's a lot of tension going on, I think, and just because of this card's existence, the deck building is going to be different. I mean, you have to play not less. I was going to say less card drawing supporters, but maybe not less. You just play the same, but you have to play supporters that do other things that are not drawing cards. So there's going to be turns where you don't draw. You sacrifice a turn to play a supporter that does something else, and I think that's super interesting. That makes the game different. That makes you play in different dimensions, and it's super cool. Mega Pokemon also get worse in a format with Headringers. So if you play an Headringer, the opponent has to lose a turn to evolve. Plus, he might also lose a turn just because he has to play the extra energy on the Pokemon in order to attack. So I don't know. Maybe you just play non-EX Pokemon like Empoleon, something like that, and maybe that becomes good just because Headringer exists and Jamming Net or something, because they can play this on your non-EX Pokemon. So maybe this is the boost that the evolution decks needed. I don't know. I just think it's super cool, super interesting. I can't wait to see what what this set will actually bring us in practice, in practical terms, I mean. So there's that. The video is already quite long. Sorry if it took a long time, but there's once again like Furious Fist had a lot of interesting and powerful, and even the not so powerful cards were cool and fun to play, like the Politoads and all that. So that's also awesome. But this time I think we have a lot of stuff to sink in and a lot to think about in terms of deck building. So looking at the spoiler, it seems really awesome. Let's see how it actually plays out. So I hope to see you guys next time. I hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, anything else, you can add to what I said. You can comment on the video as usual. So see you guys next time. Bye.